There are a bunch of cards in Inscryption. It's kind of how the game works. In this video, I'll be going over every card in Act 1 and Kaycee's mod, along with all their stats, sigils, and everything else. If you want more of these kinds of videos, you know what to do. If you want to support this channel, feel free to become a member. Now, onto the video. Let's start dissecting some cards. The Caustic Adder is a 1/1 card with a cost of 2 blood. It's a snake, and as such belongs to the reptile tribe. It has the Touch of Death sigil, which causes it to kill any card in one hit, unless they have the Kaycee's mod exclusive sigil made of stone. If the adder is eaten at a campfire event, the survivors will die, causing subsequent visits to have no people and no threat of your card being eaten. The Venerable Alpha is a 1/2 card with a cost of 4 bones. It is of the Canine tribe and has the Leader sigil. This makes the Alpha give +1 power to adjacent creatures. If the Alpha gets the Fledgling sigil and is allowed to grow into a more powerful form, its name changes to Omega. The Amalgam is a 3/3 rare card with a cost of 2 blood. It is of every tribe: Avian, Canine, Hooved, Reptile, Insect, and Squirrel. It even counts as an ant, which means all your ants gain +1 power if you've played the Amalgam. If you go to the Woodcarver event while having 7 totem pieces, the Woodcarver will give you an Amalgam with a random sigil. The Amorphous Amoeba is a 1/2 rare card which costs 2 bones. It doesn't have a tribe, but it has a unique sigil in Amorphous. This sigil changes to any random sigil when the card is drawn. The Regal Ant Queen is a 3 health card whose power depends on how many ants are on the owner's side of the board. It costs 2 blood to play and belongs to the Insect tribe. It has the Ant Spawner sigil, which creates a worker ant in your hand when played. Power in numbers, the Ant's creed. The Meddlesome Bat is a tribeless 2/1 card with a cost of 4 bones and the Airborne sigil. With said sigil, the bat is able to fly over opposing creatures, damaging the opponent directly. It does not hit opposing creatures unless they have the Mighty Leap sigil. The Industrious Beaver is a 1/4 card that costs 2 blood and belongs to no tribe. It has the Dam Builder sigil, which creates dams in each empty adjacent space. Dams are 0/2 terrain cards that inherit all sigils the beaver or any other card with the Dam Builder sigil had. Dams have no tribe, and when given the Fledgling sigil, they can turn into God Dams. The Inviolable Beehive costs 1 blood and has a stat line of 0/2. It is a part of the Insect tribe and has the Bees Within sigil. This creates a bee in your hand when the beehive is struck. Bees have 1 power and 1 health and cost nothing. They're also insects and have the Airborne sigil. The bees inherit the beehive sigils, other than the Bees Within. The Bell Tentacle card has 3 health, and its power is based off the Bell Ringer trait. The closer this card is to the bell on the left side of the board, the more power it has. On the very left spot it gains 4 power, while on the very right spot it only has 1. It also gains +1 extra power for each chime card next to the Bell Tentacle. Chimes and this card's synergy with the Daus will be explained when we get to it. The Apotheosized Black Goat has no power and only 1 health. It costs 1 blood to use, but thanks to its Worthy Sacrifice sigil, sacrificing it would yield 3 blood. On top of this, it's part of the Hooved tribe, and if sacrificed to the Bone Lord, will give a Boon of the Bone Lord instead of the Minor Boon. Its appearance changes if you choose the Goat's Eye after using the special dagger. It becomes unsettling. The Dauntless Bloodhound is a 2/3 card that costs 2 blood. It is part of the Canine cards and has the Guardian sigil. This causes the Bloodhound to hunt any card played on the opposite side of the board. The Prospector has a Bloodhound of his own, which he always uses at the beginning of phase 2 of his boss fight. The Watchful Bullfrog is a 1/2 card for 1 blood cost. It belongs to the Reptile tribe and has the Mighty Leap sigil. It can block airborne cards from attacking the owner by leaping in front of the attack. The Curious Caged Wolf is a 0/6 card that costs 2 blood. It is obtained only from the puzzle cabinet, which is accessible in Leshy's cabin in story mode. It is needed in order to progress the story. Once killed, it spawns and fully replaces the Caged Wolf card with a regular wolf, which we will talk about later. The Caged Wolf is a canine card, which is odd since it's also a terrain card. The Undying Cat is a 0/1 card with a cost of 1 blood. It has no tribe and it has the Many Lives sigil, which allows it to be sacrificed without it perishing. If the cat is sacrificed 9 times, it will turn into an undead cat with 3/6 stats. It does lose its sigil during the transformation though. Child 13 is a direct upgrade to the cat, being a rare card of the Hooved tribe. With the same stat line, cost, and sigil as a cat, it has a secret, or 3. First, if it gains the fledgling sigil and grows for a turn, its name will change into Child 14. Only the name is special. When sacrificed, it switches between its dormant and awakened forms. When awakened, its stats become 2/1 and it gains the airborne sigil on top of Many Lives. If you sacrifice Child 13 13 times, it will turn into a hungry child, which is just creepy. The Unkillable Cockroach is a 1/1 card for 4 bones. It belongs to the tribe of insects and has the sigil Unkillable. This makes the card return to your hand instead of dying. There's only one other card that has the Unkillable sigil. The Inevitable Corpse Maggots have 1 power and 2 health for the cost of 5 bones. Their tribe is insect and they have the Corpse Eater sigil. This sigil causes the corpse maggots to be played automatically when a friendly creature dies. The Meager Coyote is a 4 bone cost canine card with 2 power and 1 health. It has no sigils. The Infanticidal Cuckoo is an avian card in Kaycee's mod. It has 1/1 stats and costs 1 blood to play. The Airborne and Brood Parasite sigils are automatically on the Cuckoo, causing it to fly over enemies and create an egg on the opposing space. The egg can either be a useless 0/1 broken egg or a raven egg, which we'll talk about later. Speaking of eggs, the Curious Egg is a rare card obtained only from one of Kaycee's mod starter decks. It has no power and 1 health with the cost of 1 bone. It has a unique sigil in Finical Hatchling, which means it'll turn into a Hydra if cards in your deck have health and power numbers ranging from 1 through 5, and you have at least 1 card of every tribe. The Hydra is a beast of every tribe that has 1 power and 5 health with the sigils of Bifurcated Strike and Trifurcated Strike. Its cost stays the same, which means you have a card that costs 1 bone and attacks twice to the left, once to the middle, and twice to the right, dealing 5 damage overall. The Unrelenting Direwolf is a canine 2/5 card with a cost of 3 blood. It has the Double Strike sigil, which makes it attack twice. It can only be found in Kaycee's mod. The Direwolf Pup grows into a Direwolf after 1 turn on the board. It costs 2 blood and has 1/1 stats. Along with the Fledgling sigil, it has the Bone Digger sigil, which generates 1 bone per turn. The Flighty Elk is a hooved 2/4 card that costs 2 blood. It has the Sprinter sigil, making it move in the direction of the arrow after attacking. If an elk is given the Fledgling sigil, they'll turn into a moose buck. The Elk Fawn is the pre-evolution of the elk. It has 1 health and 1 power, but costs only 1 blood. It turns into an elk after 1 turn on the board, thanks to the Fledgling sigil. It also has the same Sprinter sigil as the elk. The Licentious Field Mice are a 2/2 card for 2 blood. They have no tribe, but do have a sigil, the Fecundity sigil. This makes a copy of the card in your hand when played. In Kaycee's mod, the sigil is worse, because when the copy is created, the Fecundity sigil is removed from the copy. The Flying Ant is one of 3 basic ants, along with the Ant Queen and Worker Ant. This card is only found in Kaycee's mod. It has the same power system as the Ant Queen, but only has 1 health. As an ant, it is an insect, and it has the airborne sigil, making it flying. The Uninspiring Gek is a rare 1/1 card that is completely free. It is of the reptile tribe and has no sigils. The Great Kraken is another rare 1/1 card, though this one costs 1 blood. It has the Kraken Waterborne sigil, which makes it submerge itself during the opponent's turn, so it cannot be hit. When it re-emerges next turn, it will turn into either a Bell Tentacle, Hand Tentacle, or Mirror Tentacle. The only way to get the Great Kraken is from a starter deck in Kaycee's mod. The Tyrannical Great White is a 3 blood cost card with 4 power and 2 health. It has the normal Waterborne sigil, which makes it hide during the enemy's turn. If the Fledgling sigil is given to it, its name changes to Greater White. The Monstrous Grizzly is a card costing 3 blood, but having 4 power and 6 health. It is not a part of the Canine tribe, for it has no tribe. It also has no sigils. The Hand Tentacle, also known as the Card Tentacle, is one of the tentacle cards. It has 1 health and costs 1 blood. Its power is determined by the number of cards in your hand. It has no sigils. The Hellacious Hodag is a rare card from Kaycee's mod, with 5 health and a cost of 2 blood. It starts with 1 power, but thanks to the Bloodlust sigil, it gains 1 power every time it kills a card. What makes Hodag a rare card is its unending Bloodlust trait. This means it'll keep the power buff from its sigil for the entire run. The Frightening Ijirak is a rare Kaycee's mod card with a stat line of 4/1. It has the Repulsive sigil, which makes other cards not attack it, and it can shapeshift. When first found, it'll take the form of any other rare card, but with red eyes. If you pick it in your deck, it'll hide as a duplicate of one of your cards, with red eyes. In battle, you cannot tell when you have drawn it, because it loses its red eyes then. But once you play the card, it'll transform into its true form. The Adept Kingfisher is a 1 blood cost, 1/1 card, with both airborne and waterborne sigils. It can evade attacks and attack the opponent directly. It is part of the Avian tribe. The Voracious Lammergeier is a card in Kaycee's mod. It costs a whole 3 blood, has 4 health, and its power is the number of bones you have divided by 2. As an avian with wings, it has the airborne sigil. The Long Elk is a 1/2 rare card with a cost of 4 bones. As an elk, it is part of the Hooved tribe, and it has the sigil of Sprinter and Touch of Death. Outside of battle, all you can see is its long neck, but in battle, you see its head and red eye. When it moves, it drops vertebrae on the field, which are hooved 0/1 cards that can be sacrificed. If the survivors at a campfire event eat the Long Elk, it will poison and kill them. If it is given the Fledgling sigil, it will transform into a longer elk. The Covetous Magpie is a 1/1 card for 2 blood. It is a bird, so Avian tribe. It has the Airborne sigil and the Hoarder sigil. Hoarder allows you to search your deck for any card and put it into your hand, and this is the only card with that sigil. The Fervid Mantis, a 1 blood cost, 1/1 card of the Insect tribe. It has the Bifurcated Strike sigil, which makes it attack left and right instead of the front. If given the Fledgling sigil, it'll turn into a Mantis God. The Mantis God is a rare card and a direct upgrade of the Mantis. It has all the same stats, just with a different sigil, Trifurcated Strike. This makes it attack 3 times, once to the left, once to the middle, and once to the right. The Delectable Mealworm is an insect card added in Kaycee's mod. It costs 2 bones for a 0/2 stat line. It has the Morsel sigil, which transfers this card's power and health to any card it is sacrificed for. The Mirror Tentacle is the 3rd tentacle card. It has no tribe, 3 health, costs 1 blood, and its power is equal to the power of the opposing creature. like a mirror. The Omnipresent Mole is a 1 blood cost card with 0 power and 4 health. It has the Burrower sigil, which makes it move to any empty space being attacked by the enemy. When given the Fledgling sigil, it'll turn into a Mole Man. The Stalwart Mole Man is a rare card and a direct upgrade of the Mole. It costs the same and has the same power, but has 6 health instead of 4. It also gains the Mighty Leap sigil, so it can block aerial attacks. The Regal Moosebuck is a 3 blood cost card with 3 power and 7 health. It is of the hooved variety and has the Hefty sigil. This makes it move towards the direction shown and push any card in its way. The Adamantine Mud Turtle is a reptile card introduced in Kaycee's mod. It costs 2 blood to play and has 2 power and health. It has the Armored sigil, which allows the turtle to take 1 hit from anything without taking damage. After it takes damage, its card art changes and it no longer has the sigil. The Resourceful Opossum is a cheap 2 bone cost card with 1/1 stats and no sigils. It belongs to no tribe, but if given the Fledgling sigil, its name will change into Awesome Opossum. The Eternal Ouroboros is a rare card that costs 2 blood and is of the Reptile tribe. It has the Unkillable sigil and a trait specific to only this card. When Ouroboros dies, its stats are increased by 1, forever. There is no cap to its stats, and it will keep its stat buffs for the entire run. It also satisfies the Ring Trial if it is in your deck. The Prudent Packrat is a rare 2/2 card that costs 2 blood. It has the Trinket Bearer sigil, which gives you an item when this card is played. It can be obtained from the Backpack event, where you usually get items. If your bag is full, however, you will get a Packrat instead. The Underestimated Pelt Lice is a rare card in Kaycee's mod. It costs 4 blood to play for 1/1 stats. It has the Double Strike sigil and is of the Insect tribe. It has a unique trait though, which makes it jump onto the battle arena if a pelt is played. It doesn't matter if the Pelt Lice is in your deck or hand, it will be played if you play a pelt. The Ornery Porcupine is a 1 blood cost card with no tribe, 1 power and 2 health. It has the Sharp Quill sigil, which causes any card that damages it to take 1 point of damage. The Sadistic Pronghorn is a hooved card with 1/3 stats and a cost of 2 blood. It has the sigils of Sprinter and Bifurcated Strike. The Thieving Raccoon is a 1 blood cost card with no tribe and 1/1 stats. Its sigil, Scavenger, makes every opposing card drop a bone when they die. This card is exclusively in Kaycee's mod. The Tragic Rat King is a 2/1 card costing 2 blood. It has the Bone King sigil, which makes it drop 4 bones when it dies instead of the usual 1. The Nefarious Rattler is a 3/1 card for 6 bones. It is of the Reptile tribe and has no sigils. The Conniving Raven is an avian card with 2 power and 3 health. It costs 2 blood and has the Airborne sigil. It is the mature form of the Raven Egg. The Raven Egg is a 1 blood cost, 0 power, 2 health avian card with the Fledgling sigil. After 1 turn on the board, it'll transform into a raven. The Bloodthirsty Red Heart is a hooved card in Kaycee's mod. It has 2 health and costs 2 blood. Its power is equal to the number of sacrifices you've done that turn. It also has the Sprinter sigil, causing it to move. The Underappreciated Ringworm is a 0/1 card for 1 blood. It has no sigils, is of the Insect tribe, and just like Ouroboros, it counts for Leshy's Ring Trial. If the ringworm is eaten by the survivors at a campfire event, it will kill them. The Elusive River Otter is a 1 blood cost card with 1 power and 1 health. It has the Waterborne sigil and thus evades enemy attacks. The Stalwart River Snapper is a 1/6 card for 2 blood. It is a reptile, but it has no sigils. The Tenacious Skink is another reptile card. This one costs 1 blood, has 1 power and 2 health. It has the Loose Tail sigil. This makes the skink drop a wriggling tail when attacked. The tail takes the hit instead of the skink while the skink escapes to a nearby spot. If the loose tail sigil is transferred to other creatures, their tails can change. Amalgam, Ouroboros, and the skink have wriggling tails, but all insects drop wriggling legs. All birds drop tail feathers. Most canine, hooved, squirrel, or otherwise mammalian creatures have furry tails. And all other cards have their own tails. All tails are still 0-2 cards. The reviled skunk has 0-3 stats for a cost of 1 blood. It has the stinky sigil, which makes any opposing creature deal 1 less damage. The meek sparrow is an avian card with 1 power and 2 health. It costs 1 blood and has the airborne sigil. The squirrel is a basic card with no power and 1 health. It costs nothing and it has its own deck. In Kaycee's mod, there's another variant of the squirrel, the aqua squirrel. It functions the same as a squirrel, just with the waterborne sigil, which means it cannot block attacks. The stink bug is a 2 bone cost card with 1 power and 2 health. It is a bug, so part of the insect tribe, and has the stinky sigil, the same one the skunk had. The stink bug cannot be obtained in Kaycee's mod. It's gotten from the safe in Leshy's cabin and is part of the story mode. The stoat is a card with multiple variants. In the story mode, the stoat is a 1-3 card for 1 blood. In Kaycee's mod, it's a 1-2 card for 1 blood. The main way of getting a stoat is by having it in your starting deck. The unimpressive strange larva is a rare insect card. It has 0-3 stats and the fledgling sigil, which causes it to grow up into a strange pupa after 1 turn. The strange pupa then grows into a 7-3 Mothman with airborne. If the Mothman is given the fledgling sigil and is allowed to grow, its name changes to Final Form. The Stunted Wolf is another story mode exclusive card. It has 2 power and 2 health with a cost of 1 blood. It is canine but has no sigils. It is obtained from the cuckoo clock in Leshy's cabin and is part of the story. The Wimpish Tadpole is a Kaycee's mod 0-1 free card. It is of the reptile tribe and has the fledgling and waterborne sigils. After growing up, it turns into a bullfrog. The Feral the Daus. Well, that doesn't work at all. It's the only regular card in the game with "the" in its name. Anyway, the Daus is a rare 2 blood cost card with 2 power and 2 health. In story mode, it has no tribe, but in Kaycee's mod, it is hooved. It has the Bellist sigil, which creates chimes on both sides of the card when played. A chime has 0 power and 1 health. What makes the Daus unique is its Chime Keeper trait. If its chimes are hit, the Daus will immediately attack the card that attacked the chime. The Bell Tentacle also counts as a chime. The Pernicious Turkey Vulture is a 3-3 card with airborne for 8 bones. Its tribe is avian and it's the most expensive card to cost bones. The Urayuli is a rare card costing 4 blood but having 7 health and 7 power. This level of brutish strength needs no explanation. The Bountiful Warren is a 1 blood cost 0-2 card with the Rabbit Hole sigil. When the Warren is played, you gain a rabbit card in your hand. Rabbits are no-cost cards with 1 health and no power. The Reckless Wild Bull is a Kaycee's mod card with 3 power and 2 health. It costs 2 blood and is hooved. It has the Rampager sigil, which causes it to move in the direction of the sigil and toss any card in its way behind it. The Proud Wolf is a 3-2 card for 2 blood. It is canine and has no sigils. There is a card that is a younger version of the wolf. The Young Wolf Cub costs 1 blood and has 1 power and 1 health. It ages swiftly thanks to its fledgling sigil, turning into a wolf in just 1 turn on the board. The Relentless Wolverine is a card from Kaycee's mod with 1 power and 3 health. It costs 5 bones and has the Bloodlust sigil. Bloodlust makes this card gain 1 more power every time it kills another card. The Diligent Worker Ant is an insect card with 1 blood and 2 health. As an ant, its power is based on how many ants the owner has on their side of the board. On top of all these cards, there are a few weird cards I like to call the Miscellaneous Cards. We start with the Bait Bucket. It is a 0-1 card used only by the angler. Once destroyed, it creates a Great White in its place. Boulders are 0-5 terrain cards which can't be sacrificed. Boulders can appear randomly at the beginning of a battle, or alternatively, they can be obtained with the Boulder in a Jar item. In Kaycee's mod, they gain the Made of Stone sigil, which makes them immune to the effects of Touch of Death and Stinky. Death cards are cards made by the player upon dying, hence death cards. I won't go into too much detail on how they work, but when you die in story mode, you get to create your own death card. Its cost, stats, and sigils are all taken from existing cards in your deck. This usually makes a pretty powerful card. The Frozen Opossum is a card gotten only from the Frozen Opossum in a Bottle item. It is a free-to-play terrain card with 0-5 stats and the Frozen Away sigil, which makes it create an opossum when destroyed. Deep Beneath is the glitched card. It has the random card trait, which causes the card to change into a random card for the battle when drawn from the deck. The Gold Nugget is a terrain card the Prospector turns your cards into. It has 2 health and can't be sacrificed, just like all other terrain cards. There is technically a way to get it as a card in your hand, but it's so dumb, just read the wiki if you want to know. The Grand Fir is a tree. It has 3 health and the Mighty Leap sigil, and can only be found randomly in battles in the woodlands. The Snowy Fir is also a tree with Mighty Leap, but it has 4 health, and instead of the woodlands, it can be found in the snow line. The Mole Seaman, funny, is a card only used by Royal Dominguez in his battle. It's technically a rare card and has 1 blood cost, though it can never be obtained by the player. It has 1-8 stats and has the Burrower and Mighty Leap sigils. The Pack Mule is a hooved card that is only used by the Prospector. It has 0 power and 5 health and the Sprinter sigil. Once killed, it'll give you 4 different cards. The Pelt cards are only obtained from the Trapper. There are 3 types, Rabbit, Wolf and Golden, which have 1, 2 and 3 health. They cannot be sacrificed, but instead they can be traded to the trader for other cards. The Skeleton Crew are Royal Dominguez's cards. They have 2 power and 1 health and the Brittle sigil. This makes the card die once it attacks. The Starvation is an anti-softlock card. In any battle not against the moon or the limoncello, if the player runs out of cards, Starvation will start to appear on the opponent's side. All Starvation have the Repulsive sigil, making it so other cards don't attack it. Every time a Starvation spawns, it has +1/+1 stats. The first one is 1-1, next 2-2, then 3-3 and so on. After the 5th one, they gain the Airborne sigil, and after the 9th one, they start immediately adding 1 weight to the scale. The Strange Frog is a card the Trapper uses. It has 1-2 stats and the Mighty Leap sigil. In Kaycee's mod, they're part of the Reptile tribe. Once killed, it will spawn a Leaping Trap on its place. The Leaping Trap is a 1 health card with the Mighty Leap and Steel Trap sigils. Once killed, the Leaping Trap will close and kill the card opposing it. This will create a wolf pelt in your hand. The Stump is a 0 power, 3 health card with no sigils. Like all terrain, it cannot be sacrificed. The Zombie Parrot is a 2-3 card with Airborne and Brittle. It is used solely by Royal Dominguez. We've made it to the final 3 cards, which I've saved for the end. They are the Smoke, the Limoncello, and the Moon. Why did I save these for the end? Because they have the in their name, unlike all other cards. Except the Daus. The Smoke is a free 0-1 card with the Bone King sigil. It is given to the player at the beginning of every boss fight if the player has more than 1 candle lit, in exchange for all but 1 candle being put out. If the player has done the candle puzzle in the cabin, they will get a Greater Smoke instead of the Smoke. The Greater Smoke is a free 1-3 card with the Bone King sigil. Now getting on to the big boys, the Limoncello, used by Royal Dominguez, is one of 2 massive cards. It has 2 power and 80 health. with the sigils of Mighty Leap, Omni Strike, and Made of Stone. Omni Strike makes it attack all cards on the opponent's side, and if there are no cards, it attacks the opponent directly. Upon taking damage, the Limoncello's crew will mutiny and Skeleton Crew cards will be placed on the player's side of the board. If the player's cards run out, the Limoncello will gain 1 power every turn. On top of this, the card is uncuttable, meaning insta-kill items like the scissors won't work on it. And finally, the Moon. It's the other massive card, this time being used by Leshy. It has 1 power and 40 health, with the Mighty Leap, Omni Strike, and Tidal Lock sigils. Tidal Lock causes all squirrels and rabbits on the board to be caught in the moon's orbit, removing them from the board. In Kaycee's mod, it also has the Made of Stone sigil. On top of this, it also gains 1 power per turn if the player has no cards left in their deck, and it is uncuttable, just like the other massive card. If you'd want to see a part 2, or just want other similar videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and why not also become a member? This video took so long to make, but it was totally worth it, for all of you. We'll see what I come up with next.